Neil Sweeney. Welcome to Focus on the Fun Stuff podcast. I'm very glad to have you here.
Good morning.
For anybody that doesn't know Neil, today we're going to talk about scaling a business and exiting twice from very, very humble beginnings, which I wanted, because you really did, you cleared everything off the decks to make this business work, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like you pulled your life back to basics with a family, which
Yeah.
we're going to delve into. Exited two businesses. And we're also going to delve into how exiting is amazing, but also has lots of other, I was going to say problems, issues, I guess, other challenges to mitigate.
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah, post-exit. I guess like lots of people dream about the exit, which, yeah, but also there's things on the other side of that then come up, and that's led into almost a second journey for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, chapter 3, I suppose you could say.
So, Neil, just to like put the listeners into perspective of you, if we kind of take you back to the beginning of the entrepreneurial journey, have you always been an entrepreneur? So you built Securo and Urban Life and exited them, but like pre that, who was Neil Sweeney?
Yeah, great question. I would guess I'm not academic, and I've got a very short attention span. So I'd be the one at the back of the class.
Yeah.
Not because maybe that I wasn't the smartest, but just because I'm not interested. And so, I mean, that part of that was dyslexia. I guess that's now the name, the label and the title. I wasn't diagnosed with it, but all the traits, you know, I used to go in a special class, Mrs. Bowker, you know, and all of those things. So there would be me sitting in a class with 4. And I'm like, why on this? Because I needed more attention. I need someone to say, sit down, I'm going to teach you, and listen and focus.
Yeah.
So I guess if we're looking at like the entrepreneurial part of it, I know I wasn't academic, so methodically and thinking about, I couldn't lock it in. I'm out. So probably my cape or my skill and special part of that was I was always the character. So I think that I've always had probably a good level of energy.
Yeah.
And quite a good, I'd see stuff. So I'd always be the one. I was the one that, you know, I used to import. My dad lived in Spain, and I can remember sending over. He'd go to Jib, and I'd get all the clothes, all the polo and the Ralph Lauren stuff, and he'd box it up and sell it, and I would sell it out of my locker.
Really?
You know, for tenors, £15, and it was all of that. You know, so when I even think back, and probably even before then. You know, I remember setting up a car wash business when I would walk around. Literally, it was a bucket and a water, and a friend, Tim. Me and him set it up. We called it Timmy Valet, a bit like a knockoff version of Timmy Mallet. But, you know, we had these little flyers printed off. And I'm like, no, we were, I don't know, 12, 13, walking the streets, earning a £5 a car wash. So I wasn't laying down or just sitting at the park. I was out and going, how does that work? How could I make a bit of money there working for always, you know, money was always, that's good, earn some money, go and get my own things. So I suppose probably it was there as a very early foundation.
And so, and how, at what point did you start Securo? What year was this?
Yeah, so 2010 really was when the seed was sown. 2011 was when it was formed and founded.
Okay, so you'd done a stint of working in a state agency, was it? Like
a
commercial agent?
Yeah, definitely. That was, without knowing it, that was 100% my university to life, to work, to commercial, to the way people think, to business. Because from the early age, in my 16, 17, straight into commercial property, working with people that were commercially minded.
Yeah.
So they were acquiring buildings, they were scaling, they were buying development sites, they were selling investments. I got to understand yields and returns and percent and growth and all these people I'm surrounded with. You know, from startup companies, seed businesses that would go and take a small unit in a seed centre, up to, you know, well, I suppose you could consider them billionaires now. I guess they are. I mean, one of them bought Canary Wharf, so he's a pretty wealthy dude. And so I was connected with all these people, but not even really knowing it at that point, Emma, to be fair. You know, I was 19, 20 years old and, you know, and doing that. And I think that was a super foundation for me to go, okay, so this is business, is it? Because I saw every spectrum. Yeah. Hairdresser, manufacturing service. Yeah, of course. Whatever, all of it.
So, and what was it in you that was like, oh no, I'm going to go and do my own thing now?
There's a joke, bit of a standing joke in my household. I have a leather binder with business cards in it, and I love the business card. Every business idea I had, what are we going to call it? And I need to get a business card. So you could go on to this business card creation. I mean, we're talking 20 years ago, probably then, I've got an idea. You know, one was Dudes and Divas, which was a party thing, so for young kids, for boys and girls, you know, and okay, I've got to get a business card. One was Deck King, which is a decking company. You know, all these different. One was I Inspect, which is an inspection business. I've got to get a business card. So it was always in me that I'll be setting these little kind of ideas up. But I was still an agent at that point as an agency surveyor. But these were ideas. I could do that at the weekend, and I can. So I'm just trying to find maybe an angle.
Yeah.
I think as well is every day talking to entrepreneurs, business owners, that we're no different. Like, we are no different at all.
What do you mean?
What I mean by that is they are on there, they're learning as well.
Yeah.
They're ringing me up for advice.
Yeah.
And so I would be getting someone that, if you want to put wealth or a number on it, that they're worth tens of millions of pounds, and then they're ringing me up at that point in my late 20s, because I would have done almost 10 years in that game, a decade of it. Okay, Neil, so what's the yield? What's the rate? If we develop that, if we quote that, you know, if we did grade A listed there, would that? And they're coming to me, and I'm going, I thought this is what you do, you should know it. Well, no, they're still learning, they're always on it. So I was watching all these companies and people going, they're just figuring it out as well. I thought that they knew it all. They don't. They're figuring it out. So from that, I think that's where my real fire sparked, so that I wanted to go and do something for me and my journey. And I remember, excuse me, when I left, I went to my boss, my then boss, Colin, and I took him for a pint and said, look, I'm going to leave. I've seen an opportunity, going to go with that. It doesn't conflict with what we do and anything like that. And he went, Neil, like, go and get it. Like, you'll be great. And if it doesn't work, there's always going to be a job here, because you earn us money, you're a good agent, you know, and it works. So there was comfort. I thought, I can go back to a job. I'd always find a job, you know, whether I'm doing a paper round, you always find something. And so that was then when I embarked on my first Securo venture.
And why did you choose that business?
That came about because I was then working for commercial clients. So these are private investors that were living majority abroad, and they would have numbers of units. When they became vacant, they'd say, right, Neil, I need to get them locked up, drained down, and I need to put security in them, security shutters or whatever. Can you, like, some maintenance there? I said, yeah, I can do that. So I would kind of facilitate and oversee these units getting secured. So they'd be putting a little alarm system in the corner, shoring them up, securing them, draining the water down, just getting them secure, And I'd be signing the check off and going, seems a lot of money. And every month, this alarm system that would sit in the corner, I'd be writing a check out for £1,000 a month.
Really?
And I'd be thinking, it's been sitting there for 6 months vacant. I know the company hasn't gone there because I've got the key. So the alarm just sits there dormant, quiet, and you've got £6,000 already out of that. And it's probably going to be vacant for another 6 months. This is good business. So if that's one unit, if I had 100 of them, like, that sounds like a really good business model. So that was the big seed that started Securo, and that's what I set out to do.
Got you. And then just the story of, like, when you started and what you chose to do to make sure that you could start and grow this business. Like, a lot of people say they want to start a business, but they actually don't want to do the hard bits that are going to... So just tell us about, like, the decisions you made early on.
Yeah, I mean, and it's great, that one, because when you see... And success comes in so many forms, doesn't it? And it's not just necessarily monetarily; it's the whole thing: their freedom, their travel, their, you know, where they live, what they do, their whole being. Yeah. The one thing for me is that I wanted to bring. I was just earning a living, and it was a good living as an agent, but I had no investment. I had no cash. I didn't have any money. I didn't have anything around me there. And we were renting a house at this point, and that was £1,200 a month, and all the bills and bits and pieces that go with it. So probably just to live was $2,500 a month. And so I remember sitting with my wife Tiffany, and we had she was pregnant with Hetty. Liliella was born. She was 2 years old at that point, and I was like, look, we need to go back to ground zero. Do you think we could move in with your parents? And they had a double garage. You
suggested it?
Yeah, because it's just like, we need to go to ground zero on cost, because how can I set out day one? I'm either going to borrow money. Yeah. I don't know if this venture's going to work. I mean, I'm expecting and hoping it to, but on the early days, we're just going to go at it. And I had a credit card. I remember I had a credit card with £8,000, managed to get that around me. And I that built my first couple of alarm systems. But what it also did, it allowed me to then move into this garage, which we lined it and we put a toilet in the corner. Like it had, it was an open toilet. it had stud wall, everything. It was very flash. But what it did allow us to do, moving into that, was I don't have any overheads really at that point personally. I don't have to lean on it because, as you know, in the early part of a business, the more you're leaning on that, the harder it is. It's just going to be hard.
Yep.
Do you know?
Totally.
That is the fear. Two places come. It's love and passion. I want to go and do it, but there's fear. I can't do it. It's going to stop me.
Yep.
And a great fear is anything money, because money is access to so much, isn't it?
Yep.
And if you don't have that, it's more stress. You lean on everything. It's just more impact.
For sure.
So it was actually just quite simple. Just strip everything back. Sell the cars. I'll buy a van. Come out of the house. Let's put that in some store and we'll move into the garage. So now my overhead's £500.
Wow.
It's not 2,500.
Yeah.
And it might only be for the year. It turned out it was 7 years. It was a long time that we lived, but we actually ended up spilling into the house. And then in time, we bought the house from them, and it sort of evolved over that period. But yeah, we lived in the garage for a good couple of years. Yeah.
What a great phrase.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
And just didn't I want to ask in those, for the 7 years, but daily when you're, because there's clearly a lot riding on this, isn't there? There's like the fact that I guess your in-laws are watching you, are you going to make this happen? I guess there's that element. There's your wife and very young
friends.
family. And
everyone,
How do you think you managed that level of, this also has to make it work, not just because I want to make it work, because of that? Because it feels also like it could be some days something that becomes very stressful when you've got like the contract that doesn't go through or the opportunity that didn't come off. Was there a particular way you managed that? Or was it just like, I just need to get on with it?
Yeah, I'm very lucky that there's a great phrase I use, and it gets said a lot. It's probably said twice this week already in just what it is. We're not doctors. No one's going to die. Like, no one's going to die here.
Love that.
Like, it's okay. And so I could probably, the stress, maybe my capacity of a stress level can be pretty high. And as
in, like, you can tolerate a lot of stress. I can
tolerate, and possibly then my risk as well. Yeah. I'm okay with risk. It's okay for me because I'm not a doctor. No one's going to die to this.
Yeah.
So as long as it's not going to that place of physical harm and like, this is really damn, like, okay, we're not going to die. And look, I'm back to the garage. And look at us getting on, and we're smiling, we're happy, like we're fine.
Oh my God, love that.
Like we're back to here. Like, maybe it's so Sweeney as a surname is an Irish thing, and it's a traveller thing. So my great grandparents, they were travellers, and when they came, so maybe my best place is living in a caravan. So when you look at that, I don't need the aesthetic. I don't need all that. I don't need that. It's lovely to have.
Yeah.
And probably once I ended up getting those things, then I've definitely learned I actually don't really need any of it. Actually. Yeah, it's nice to have, but definitely don't feel different. I'm probably best in the garage or in the caravan. So, yeah, you just, I think that's how I deal with it. Yeah. Some can't. And probably the more you go into the journey, the more things you have around you, and the more of those, it just makes it harder, doesn't it? Of course it does.
Totally. So on this journey that you set out on, was the goal always to sell the business? Was that like a clear, I'm starting this because I'm going to exit it?
Yeah. Not at the very early stage. Okay. At the very early stage, it was about just dive in, just let's go at this. And I know I can create something there. It was quite quickly thereafter, though, only a year into it, once I've gone, right, okay, now we're getting some momentum. It's a thing. Okay, now what does the real market look like? And what does it actually want to look like?
Yeah.
What is that end in mind? James Sinclair's a classic one. But having that exit is definitely something, and I do it now, and I'll always do it in the businesses that I'm involved in. And I think you do it even personally, don't you? Like, what does the future look like? Mm-hmm. Where do I want to live? Where do I want to be and grow? Like that's an exit of something, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think that the exit of a business is so important for me now, and it was then at that point. Okay, what does it even need to look like? How do we behave? So what we did to that was having that exit in mind, in just the end goal, what does it need to look like, was how everything's delivered, the way that the guys turned up on site, the way the vans look, the way that we are, the way that we're reacting to our clients, the way we behave in the business. Just how do you show up? Like the whole thing. Pimlico Plumbing, if you pick one, right? Pimlico Plumbing, and you could meet someone on the street and go, I'm a plumber. brilliant. And that could be Dave, the plumber, and it's him. He's still doing his work, but really the van's not logoed up. He's got his mobile number written on the back, so I now know it's a one-man band. It's not. He turns up. He hasn't got any gear. When I ring, it just goes through an answer machine. All these things, and they're quite simple, cost-effective. Well, even in your business, right? I could have that all linked through to to your business, and all of these things I can put in. I'm already leveling it up. But that's if I want to go there and be Pimlico Plumbing. But if I just want to be me and do a few jobs, then that is totally cool. So I think it's that place. And I knew that I can take it further and it can scale because that was a very scalable business.
Right.
And so then looked at the market, looked at the competitors and just borrowed all the ideas and things that I looked and great. And we just sharpened our pencil and just looked better.
Amazing. Yeah. And when you were we're going to sell it, just how did you approach that did you I know that these guys would be high on the list for buying it, or was it you put it out to markets we're for sale, who want, how did you approach that bit?
Yeah, so it's a relatively small market. So it was temporary site security. So we would look after a lot of the big developers in the UK and institutional investment companies that own lots of buildings in London and everywhere through the country. And when you're at that kind of level, there are only really a real true handful that could acquire you and that would fold you in, because it's a brilliant business to fold in. If I turned up with a portfolio of 1,000 properties we're looking after, they can just fold them in, new sign them, we're still looking after it. So the model works well. And there's probably only really 5 in the country that did it. So identifying them, then that was where I just looked at what they did, used some of their tech stuff. I'd always try and keep them close and try and meet with them. We then maybe acquired some of their staff over a period of time, some of their sales team, and then they would bring learnings. And we just continued scaling. So I had the end in mind, I had the buyer in mind, to the point that when we got round the table, I had 3 offers on the table, of which 2 of those were companies that I had, identified 10 years ago.
Oh, really?
They're the companies that we want to put it to. They didn't buy it in the end, but they were at the table, so it was interesting.
Yeah. So the company that bought it, was it one of the big 5?
So this company, so now we are, and I remember getting a message from, Mitch, my business partner, and I'm now we're in this place of going to meet these other companies and so on. And he said, this is an interesting firm, reach out to them. And they're one of the largest European security companies called Bauwatch. They do what we do in the UK, but they do it throughout Europe. Reached out to the CEO. I was on holiday at that time down in the sunny Dordogne on the river. And I remember sent a message out, nothing happened. And a month later, I thought, I'm just going to G that up again and just said, look, really interested in merger and acquisition opportunity or a something, it's genuine, reach out, of which he did. Then the pandemic landed. And that arrived. So that was great for us as a business because all these vacant properties, they're still vacant. They've still got to be looked after. A lot of sites had to shut off or come down, skeleton staff. So we need more security. Crime increased because they're going, this is brilliant. We can just, and so we had a hockey stick. So we probably had 30% growth.
Wow.
Within a period of time. It just started to flow, which is brilliant. Reached out to this CEO and we both jumped on a plane, flew to Sweden because that was the only place that you could fly to. And I turned up there with my binder and my book, dressed up like I was going to a wedding with my 3-piece suit on. I'm meeting a company, 170 million revenue. These is big outfits, these companies. The CEO and the FD, I don't know what I'm going to expect. And turned up, they were just cool. He was like T-shirt trainers. Hey, it's good to see you, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I've totally misread the room. I'm just
taking your tie off, jacket,
take the waistcoat off, dress down. And we just hit it off. And from there, so we had a fantastic business at that point. Really, really, really strong business, great systems, processes, well branded, good client base, knew what we were doing. The whole company was tight, and I knew that had a great value. And I showed up, we walked him through it. We agreed the deal literally over a Peroni and a steak.
Really?
There, it was done. Yeah, we didn't. And he said, if that's what it is, we won't move off the number. That's the number. Me and Mitch. Oh, do you know, you see the Dragon's Den and they make an offer and they go, oh, can we have a minute? And they walk back to the lift, don't they? It was almost like, it was part of that. Okay, well, does that number work for us? It's what we spoke about. That hits the number. I was like, okay, cool. Let's do it. Should we have steak now? I was like, yeah, let's do steak. Very surreal. Flew back. Now we're in the pandemic. And then the journey of that exit, there was a lot of, that's one thing as well. you've got to make sure that your ship is straight and clean and tidy if you are genuinely looking for an exit and or something.
Is it challenging, the whole process?
Yeah. You've got to be so clean, all your numbers, you can't hide anything.
Yeah.
It's got to be so transparent. So when you're building a business, there's always a hustle, isn't there?
Yeah.
I'll borrow that, I'll rob that, I'll do that one, I'll rob that, but I'll borrow that and I'll rob Peter, pay Paul. But, you're just trying to piece it together. And if there is an element of, we're trying to hustle, a company will see that and go, why were you making them decisions, and how much debt have you got, and why did we borrow that, and what's that, and what are you exposed to? Because but once you've sold, you can put indemnities and warranties around things, but once it's bought, it's bought.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of due diligence, and they deep dive into that. So there was a great learning from us there.
And how long did that take, that process?
6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was very intense on that part, but good fun. Yeah.
So you exit the business for a number that you've wanted, and you achieve it, and that initial feeling must be like, oh my God, it's happened. Is that what the feeling's like?
Oh,
initially?
it's the most. And a good friend of mine I spoke to before I did that exit, because I had sold a company in between that. I'll grab 2 minutes on that, but and he sold a company. I remember him telling me, and he was at Disneyland Paris. So this is pre-exit for me, and I'm just like, what does it actually feel like? To 7 figures. So what does that feel like when it's bearing in mind you've had 15 years of hustle?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? I must feel like, oh my God, I must be able to float. Literally, I could just like Peter Pan. Like, what? How does that actually feel? You just get what you want, do what you want, be where you want. Like, what does that feel like? And he went, just didn't feel anything. Yeah. And I've heard that a lot. I've heard it from. It's like Stephen Bartlett. I've heard that from him.
Yeah.
And I listened to his podcast. He was walking along the road, and then it sold like hundreds of millions. And his business partner went, "That's just weird. Should we get a coffee?" That.
Yeah.
It would have been lovely if it was hundreds of millions for me, but it was a good number. But it just feels weird. I think the time that we're in. I mean, we completed in the pandemic as well. So we completed on a laptop. I'm sitting at the end of my daughter's bed because it was downstairs, the dogs were barking, and I've got 10 people, advisors, brokers, legals, financial directors, CEOs, COOs, like we're all on there, all from Europe, all jumped on this Zoom, and they're like, hey, okay, so now we complete today, congratulations. I'm like, all right, thanks. And then just shut the laptop down. Just stood at the end of the bed and that feels really weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens now? Rung Mitch up, my business partner. How was that? He was like, that was weird. I was like, I know what you're going to do. And I don't know, I'm going to go for a walk. I went, okay. I didn't live near Mitch at that point so much. And,
otherwise you'd have gone for a walk together.
Otherwise I'd say, should we just go for a walk together? And I came downstairs. I remember my wife was like, well, did you do it? Hey, okay, great. Well, and we had a bottle of bubbles in the fridge. Like, do you want to break that? I went, no, I don't want to. I said, I'm just going to have a cup of tea. I'm just going to sit in the garden. And it just is weird.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And I think, and a good friend of both of ours, Will Polston, and I think he summed it up. If you win a lottery, if you or I won a lottery today, the feeling of it it's like, that would be an elation, a maze, like swept off your feet, like, oh my God, whether it's 10 grand or 10 million. I never thought that was happening today. I thought this was happening for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's a different feeling, isn't it?
I get you.
I'm working to the number. I'm talking about it. We're talking about it. We're doing that. We're negotiating. We're doing that. 5 years. And you're getting advice. 3 years. Okay, getting advice. What is the real, Neil, you need to do that. You need to put better key men of influence or key people in the business. You need to move out. Okay. EOS, implementing EOS in the business. Okay, keep going. 2 years. 1 year, there's an offer. Right, 1 year, let's go to due diligence. Let's instruct solicitors. 6 months. 3 months, 10 days, 2 weeks, sit at the end of the bed, 10 minutes. It's now. Congratulations. Oh, God, that was a run.
Yeah.
It wasn't scratch the cards. I've only gone on 110 million. I can't believe it. And I think that's where it's at. So that's where the feeling is, because it's a feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also not forgetting at that point, those last 2 years, we had money. Like I said, we
As in, like it was profitable, so it's not like...
We had money, we had cars, we had a holiday, the kids went to school, we bought clothes, there wasn't any, obviously earlier days was like, no, let's just not have the holiday at the minute, let's just not do that.
Yeah.
Do we need 2 cars? Like, let's just use one, all of those things. At the end of it, you wasn't. So it wasn't that. What it did do though, Emma, it did allow me to then open up and go, right, what's next? What's the chapter?
And I just want to, because how was that for you? There's, we were at Will's dinner, which is a networking event for anybody that doesn't know, that Will runs for business owners. And I remember it was a couple of years ago now, and we were talking a little bit about your exit, and you told me that story about the peanuts. Do you remember?
Yeah. It's a great story.
It's a really great story.
That's so special, that.
I mean, I'm happy for you to say it, because I think it really ties in. It really stuck with me, that.
Yeah.
About appreciating where you are on the journey as well, pretty much.
Yeah. I think it's like a metaphorical thing, and I just think it's beautiful that it was the simple part of the story. They were two Hollywood stars.
Yeah.
But in the earlier days, they were literally rags and ruins. Like, there was nothing there. And I can't remember their name at the moment, but I will do, and we'll put it in the text. And they're together, their romance is there, but it's really, really difficult. And her birthday came round, and he bought her a bag of peanuts. And with the bag of peanuts, he just was like, look, I can't, but one day they're going to be rubies and diamonds, and I promise you that. And that was like, okay, that's a beautiful thing. She was like, okay, give us a hug. Like, I love the idea. And it's a lovely promise.
Yeah.
And then years later, they then became, and this is a true story, this part. So I think we do need to put that in the text, but it's a true story from that. So decades later, 20, 30 years, they're married. They've been they're stars, Hollywood, the big names, all the shows, Nobel Prize winning, all the Oscar, all the awards around them. And he falls ill, and on his way, or the end of his life, when she's by his bed, and he gets that bag, and with the bag he did then have diamonds and rubies, and as part of his gift, and he put it in his hand, and he held her hand, and he just went, this is a gift for our life and our love and appreciation of all the things that we've been and done together. But if I could change those diamonds back to peanuts and start all over again, like, how special that would be. And I just think what's really special about that is you kind of think you get to the whole end of that, this confetti celebration, and you get this thing that you think, but in actual fact, the whole part is the journey. It's that. This is it. It's all of that. And when I think back to the early part of when in the garage, buying the transit van, so excited about cleaning a bin store out. It was our first job, was Buckhurst Hill, £88 bin store clean. Like, it was so fun because it was so, now it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And look, would I turn it back to go to clean the bin stores for £88? Actually, part of me would, if I knew what I knew now, because I'm like, do you know what? I know what's to come. This is going to be brilliant.
Yeah.
So probably part of me, in a way.
Yeah. That is such a great story and metaphor for, I think, people that are listening to it now that are in the journey. And I think it can just be so easy to go, this is dead hard.
Oh, God,
and it might not be an exit for someone. It might just be that the business is now profitable and I've got my time back and I can go on holiday. And we all want different things of what the success part is, don't we? But there'll be so many people who, it's like that image, isn't it, of the guy that's digging for the gold, and you can see it just on the other side of the soil, and he's about to walk back.
Yeah,
it's I just think that's such a great story for whatever journey you're on right now. You're at the right stage. Yeah. It's your journey.
Yeah,
and it's going to end up in a good place.
Well, it's the Tom Hanks, thou shalt pass. Have you ever heard him talk?
No.
Tom Hanks, he's a smart dude as well. Great actor, smart dude. But thou shalt pass, or thou too shall pass. It's one of these things. And thou too shall pass. If it's bad and it's sticking, you're like, oh God, like, thou too shall pass. It will go. And also, if it's great and flying, like, oh my God, thou too shall pass. Like, your partner, he's a fit man, right? He's a try. Like, there will be times he will have to dig really deep and find that.
True.
And it's like, just thou too shall pass. And then, and I suppose maybe that's a lot of that sort of stuff I live to.
Yeah.
But so just enjoy this, all of it.
Yeah.
It's easy to say that, but if you've got oodles of debt and it's really stressful, you're like, oh my God, like, it will pass. Like, no one's going to die. Like, let's find the solution to it, bite-size it, unpack it a bit. Who do we need around us?
Who do we need to ask for advice from and help?
Yeah, that's it. Let's get through it. It's okay.
Totally. I love that, Neil. So you've done the exit. It's feeling a bit weird. And then what was that, just that transition? Well, I say transition, but I guess at that point you are like, oh, what am I doing next?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to just sit on the beach all day.
Yeah. What I found was the last 2 or 3 years, I was just helping people, and I love helping. You get so much from it, don't you? Just helping. If I can come away, if someone's like, that was really useful, thanks.
Yeah.
Like, it's the biggest win. And I've embraced that so much. People will come and go, oh, what do you think about? I come to my office and I get the whiteboard up and we're talking about what they're doing and how I could help. So that was in me and is in me. And when I sold the business, one thing that I did 2 years before the exit, or 2.5 years before the exit, the Book of Traction by Gino Wickman.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic book. I think you've read it. Yeah,
Yeah.
great book. And I read that, and I implemented a handful of these tools. It's a really simple way of how you work, how a business should function, and how it should work. It's almost taking it back. It's what I love about it is it's almost a bit holistic, because I think we all think smart. Oh, what do I need to do? What action do I need to take? But in actual fact, are we just healthy? How does it all look? Have we got all the right people in the right seats? Are we going where we want it to go? How does that feel for everyone? I need to get all of my team. And when you have a team and you make sure everyone's moving together, but are they healthy? Do they enjoy being where they are?
Yeah.
Are they in the right seat? Have they got the support? And the book helped me kind of just be better. I just started going, there's some really great stuff in there. So I put a number of these tools, which is what they are, in the company, and it just made it better. Fast then forward, I've done the sale, done the exit. Right, okay. Midlife crisis, buys things and all these things I want to get around. We bought one of my promise, the bag of peanuts, which my wife, and she's been a rock for me by my side all through this, which is awesome. But when we were in the garage, I did say, when we do this, and I will, and when I do it, I'll buy us the house for the family, and also buy my in-laws, and I'll build a cottage on the land, and it'll be a farm, we're going to create that.
Yeah.
So the bag of peanuts was that, and I had created that then. So now we live at Allcroft Farm, we live at the place, and it's, we've built the cottage and for the in-laws to live there, and it's great. We've got the Cocker Spaniels charging around, so that, but again, that's manifestation, it's the vision, it's all of that.
Yeah.
EOS, when you talk about vision, that's a big part of EOS as well. Once I'd done the exit, and we bought where we are, we got ourselves settled, so just invested some money and got myself a bit set there, I kind of went a bit mad. Like, I just was, I remember we've got a piggery at the back, and I remember with a wheelbarrow just clearing out. We didn't have pigs in there at that time, just mucking it and just sweeping it. And it was like on a Wednesday, and I just thought, what am I doing? Like, why am I here now? Like, I just shouldn't, I've got so much to give and do. Yeah. And so I went on this kind of, it was a sabbatical was that part. And then I just was on like, right, I want to level, I want to go and do, what is that? So I've gone on this now journey. And my old business coach, which I had a business coach working with me, he was fantastic.
In the Securo days.
In Securo, great guy. And I spoke to him and he said, look, you do know that EOS, that thing, that what we did, we put in, you can be an implementer of that. You can help other companies with it. Didn't know about it. I was like, right, okay, cool. Remember talking to the guy who kind of headed up the UK. Hi, I've read the book. I've put some bits into it. It looks really interesting. I want to help other companies grow, get a grip, sort their shit out in their world. How do I do that?
Yeah.
And he said, look, you tick the box because you've got the scars, you've lots of learnings, you're so great, and you care, you want to help, and you'd be a perfect fit. Jumped on a plane, flew to Dallas a week later, came back. I was now in bed. I was in it on my journey now as an implementer doing EOS, which is what EOS stands for Entrepreneurial Operating System.
Right, okay.
It's a way that a company operates. It's the people. It's all of that. It's no systems. It's none of the tech. We've got enough tech in our lives already. My God. AI, it's coming. AI is going to be great, I'm sure, but there's still people that sit all within that.
Yeah,
we need to make sure that that's all moving really, really well.
Yeah, and when you say no systems, I get it from a tech point of view, but EOS is a system of running the business.
Correct.
Is it?
Yeah.
It would be really useful, I think, just to dive into a little bit about the frameworks. If anybody hasn't read Traction, definitely should.
Do it.
Especially if you've got even just a couple of team members.
Yeah.
Definitely read the book. Oh, God.
Well, and I say this, it was a game changer for me in my business. Even the handful of tools that we did, clarity on where people sit, visions, like clarity on the vision, and then sharing it and getting things like that. So we've got issues in our business all the time.
Yeah.
They're coming in. There might be in my business today 135 problems or issues, as we call them. They're issues. They're just coming in all the time, and that's
Which
fine.
will never stop.
They're never going to stop, and that's fine. It's how we manage what we do, how we react to them, and where they go, what we do about them. Most companies, they're going, I'm just so busy. Oh, like, just get it under the rug. Don't want to know. I'm busy. Don't like, I'll get back to me. Where my relationship with an issue is, hey, brother, come and sit down. Come and sit with me. Come in. Let them in. Keep coming in. What are you doing? What's the next one? Right. Why are you here? Let's line them up. What is that? What do they look like? How do we resolve that? But how do we resolve it and make it go away forever? Mm-hmm. So we don't want this reoccurring, coming back in again. How many times have you sat in meetings before and you think, haven't we had this problem before?
Yeah.
I'm sure we spoke about this 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks later, and then again, like, okay, so we identify what is the root cause of these issues. So all these issues you have in a business, there are 6 key components, and if you strengthen these 6 key components, you resolve so many of them and you get to how you can move it forward. The first one's vision. So it comes from a vision place. I need to make sure that as a leadership team, we're 100% clear on our vision. So if you think about your leadership team and listeners thinking about your leadership team, if I was to ask them, where's the business going? What does it look like in 5, 10 years? Go a bit further out. What does it look like in 10 years? What would they say is first question. Because around even the base part of that, if they don't really go, well, we're just here working, we're just doing it, but you're a leadership team. You're part of the top structure, right? It goes from a place that we want to understand our true values as a business. Values, I mean, in the old days, values was something you had in the 1990s up on a wall with a tiger, like motivation. Wasn't it? Or like a dolphin flipping out the water, like creativity or something. It would be all of that chintzy stuff. But values for me now is they're really true to me. Like your partner, my partner, in business, in life, relationships, you've got values. Yeah. You've got set values. We need to make sure that they're unique to the business and you lean on them. And we hire, we fire, we review, they're visual, they're around the ball. So we're clear on our values. Then it's our core focus. Entrepreneurs just see shiny stuff. We go, oh, magpie, and we're off. Yeah. I was the kid at the back of the class looking out the window, wondering what squirrel's going to win the nut, right? Whatever it'll be, because I'm just distracted all the time. Entrepreneurs, we do it because we see opportunities. Yeah. And so it's, the core focus is ensuring at a leadership team that we are 100% clear on our core focus. What are we here to do? So that the entrepreneur doesn't keep dropping new stuff into me. So the entrepreneur monkey on my back doesn't go, oh, I know, Emma, we're going to do this, but like, no. Because obviously, I had a second company whilst I was building Securo. I had another business in that, and that's a great version of it. So now I'm trying to juggle 2 companies. So just what's your core focus? And the truth is, just rewinding a little bit, scaling Securo, had I have just had 100% focus, energy, all on that, it of course would have been bigger. Oh, okay. Absolutely could have been, would have been. Yeah. But it's the distraction. Now, the other company I grew within that was fine. It was successful. It worked. But now you're trying to juggle your identity. So it's core focus, making sure leadership team are clear, they're 100% aligned. And then it's just agreeing your marketing strategy. What noise are you going to make? If I look at your business, your social, the post, is everything telling me that, are you talking to me in that market? And so it's understanding, again, clear that our target market, and this is all top level stuff as well, Emma. It's just the top level. We're not going to go to the detail. Then the big part with the vision is, right, now that we've got this 5 or 10 year, what's the 3-year picture? Like 36 months. What does it really look and feel like in 36 months? But be really freaking true to it. Don't serve the fact that you've just got to make it up. Like, be true to it. What can it be achieved in 3 years? Bring it down 1 year. And now you've got a 3-year picture. I can see it. I can feel it. I can share it. Great. So what are you going to do for 2026? So for this year, moving into 2026, what are you going to do? What 10 goals are going to be put out there, our measurable, our revenue, our profit, what our key measurable is, whatever that might not be, how many clients you're going to work with, or how many service boilers you're going to service, whatever that will be, your one key metric, and what are you going to actually do? Set them out, lock them in, make them visual, put them on a board, have them up. They're like, right, gang, we said we're going to go there. We know we said the picture's going to look and feel like that in 3 years. This is what we're going to go and do for this year. Then you break it back down. Now, this is what I'm going to do for the next 90 days to work towards those.
Okay.
And so you're getting traction, because the book traction, let's get that on the ground.
Yeah.
And then there's a way that you work. So that's that whole vision. But can you imagine even the impact and power of having that through the leadership team going, I know what I need to, at least I know what I need to do. There's lots of work that goes within that. Then it's the people, making sure, people, we love them, but you've got to get the right people in the business.
Mm-hmm.
You get two things here: the right person in the right seat. The right person is someone that rocks up, that you know them. You just want them on your bench.
Yeah.
Good energy.
Yeah.
Like, I know I can always trust on them.
Yeah.
Rachel, I can always trust Rachel. She's there, she shows up, she does it. Yeah, no problem too big. And then there's others that you go like, it's always a bit, I can't today. I'm really busy. They're always a bit flustered. There's always a bit of an issue. There's always a bit of a challenge. There's always a bit of a pushback. They're maybe a little bit toxic even. Like, you just want the right people. So you've got to make sure you've got the right people in the business, but also make sure they're in the right seat.
Yeah.
They've got to be in the right seat, because they can show up and be awesome, but they've got to be in the right seat, that they get the role, that they want that role, and they've got the capacity, the time, the support, the training to grow with it.
Yeah.
So you've got to have those two. Then it's your data. I love data. You want to track your numbers. So, I spoke about the vision, we're going high. If I said to you, right, okay, you like fitness, you're always doing something, aren't you? But right, we're going to do the New York Marathon in 2035. You're like, okay, Neil, cool. Like, that's a big vision, right? So we're going to go and do it. It's a long way off, isn't it? We're not going to start training yet. I'm not going to start training until probably 34, right? Yeah. So the measurables, what we do is, okay, so let's bite-size it down. What do we need to look at weekly? I need weekly numbers, 5 to 15, and we just start top level, looking at our weekly numbers that all moves towards it. And I call it if you're on the desert island with no signal, no access to the outside world, and every Friday afternoon at 4:00, the waiter rocks up with your favourite drink, and on that he gives you what is a scorecard, and that's got 5 to 15 numbers. What 5 to 15 numbers would you love to see every week? They can be, the less is more. So even if it's 5, and do you know what? Every week, if I was on that island for a month, I know what's happening. I can get a feel of it. It's just an indicator. Most companies don't track stuff. You need to be tracking your numbers weekly. So what's the important stuff there?
Yeah.
And around data as well, measurables. If once you share this great vision, people are like, I want to be on your bus. This sounds great. People will step up, and you want to put a measurable on every head through the business.
Yeah.
Whether or not they sit there and they've got to make 1 wibble grommet a week. You say, okay, John, I want 1 wibble grommet a week out of you. But then at least they go, no, I know why. Because you know why, John? We're going to do 10 million wibble grommets in 10 years. And you're part of that.
Yeah.
So every day, just give that number to us. Every week, you're doing 5 wibble grommets a week.
Yeah.
But you're part of it, and you're all growing towards it. So everyone has a number. And you're tracking that data now. And it should all correlate. It all starts to make sense. Up or down, I don't care. If it's down, great. I like to know down just as much as up.
What do you mean by up or down?
Off. Numbers are off.
Oh, right.
So if it's we're on the downward trend, the lack of sales, trouble with our cash flow, struggle with staff, struggle with new business, lack of, whatever it is, because there's stuff that we can work on, right? If it's all high and great and hey, like sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
So that gives us that indicator. So it's all the data part. Then it's your issues. I just spoke about our issues. Get them in. That's how to resolve them. There's a method that I use, or EOS as we use, to resolve these issues and make them go away.
Yeah.
Then it's your processes, which is the 5th one. There's only 6. but this is great for listeners. They need this stuff.
Honestly.
Like if you can, Crocs, Crocs, the rubber, love them or hate them, they run on this.
Do they really?
Big organisations run on this stuff. I've got clients that are turning over 60, 70 million pound, like big businesses running. You can also be a business that do 150 grand.
Yeah.
It goes through the whole spectrum because it's like a blueprint. But the processes, look at McDonald's, probably the masters of processes, aren't they?
Yeah.
You could be a 16-year-old, go in there, and now all of a sudden you are part of one of the most successful restaurants in the world because it's so process-led. Now, we don't want to go there because we don't want to go to the nth degree, but we do want clear processes because it makes the business healthier. You're more linear. You can grow. It's functional. It's healthy. Like why we do what we do. And when you set your processes out, you can start to see, well, why do we communicate like that? Why do we share that? What does it look like to the outside world? So it's getting all the processes right. And then finally, the traction, which brings it all together, is getting your rocks, which we call 90 days. You know, I said about that 1 year picture,
Yeah.
1 year goal, then 90 day, the rocks. We've got to concentrate on these 90 days because this is the 90-day sprint.
Things to achieve by
the
the
90-day sprint, and we put a light on that and we make sure, okay, Emma, you and I agree the next 90 days, I'm going to have 3 priorities, in brackets, rocks. You're going to have 3. We're going to do 6 things for 90 days. Let's crack on with them. And then there's how we have, part of that as well is how we have really good meetings. Don't know about you, but I've sat in meetings before and I'm like,
oh yeah, I mean,
kill me now.
Yeah, we've had some shockers
Like,
at my
what-
PA. And do you know the thing that comes to mind, in our days of having really bad meetings, we were talking about the same things every week.
Oh, yeah.
The same people.
Yeah.
Because they're not
They're
in
back
the
up
right.
again.
Yeah.
Jones back in the meeting again as a combo.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. And you
Yeah.
end up giving all of the oxygen to all of the people
Yeah.
that shouldn't be getting the
Yeah.
oxygen.
Yeah.
And it's not actually moving anything forwards. It's just a rehash of,
We go
just done
again.
that again.
And so when you look at that, how do you feel when you know that meeting's coming up tomorrow morning? How does
yeah.
your team, if you look, we own the businesses and we're feeling like that. How does our staff
Yeah,
feel?
totally.
Look forward to seeing you on Zoom at 10. Yeah. Yeah. Look forward to that.
Yeah.
No. So there's something that we have called a level 10 meeting, and that's part of the traction part, is to have really frigging awesome meetings, because all of that stuff that we just spoke about, the right people in the right seats, the data, the measurables, our goals, our rocks, that all comes down to a 90-minute meeting, and it is on steroids. The best meeting you can ever have.
Because you get into the absolute
Absolute
issue.
key of it. Data. Are we on track? Are we off track? We're off track. If we are off, we bring it down, and then we spend of an hour and a half, 30 minutes is reviewing, checking in on stuff, anything, you drop it down, then you spend 60 minutes really digging into resolving the issues.
Yeah.
And it's just a brilliant way to work.
Yeah.
And that's, and so top level, that is EOS. As an overview, as I say, it's very holistic. It's how everyone moves together.
And it really doesn't matter what kind of business you have or
No,
the
no.
size of your business.
No.
It's the blueprint, isn't it?
It's the blueprint. I mean, I've put it into now my new company that I'm involved with.
The photography
The
company.
photography company. And it's, if you could ask my leadership team, I had my quarterly meeting with them on Monday, like the difference, they're like, it's absolute day and night.
Oh, really?
The autonomy, the empowerment, the
Yeah.
clarity,
Yeah.
the way people just get it, that the language that they use, the way that they're healthier, they can communicate easier because they're actually doing it for all the greater good of the business.
Yeah.
It just removes those layers of, oh God, Emma's done that again, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay, we can do that. But what we need to do is we approach it and say, right, Emma, how do I help you from not doing that again? What is it that you're not, do you know what, Neil? I've just not got enough time. Okay, right, we put too much pressure on Emma. Let's look at where she sits in the seat.
Yeah.
Have we got enough people supporting her? Have we got the right training? Have we got the right process? Like, is that great? Like, how do we work that? And it's that. But it's, the one thing is that when you're getting coached on your own, and I love coaching in any form, but when you get coached on your own, I'm getting help, but my team aren't.
So true.
And really, we're both sitting in London today. We're not
Yeah.
doing anything for our businesses at this minute,
Yeah,
are we?
yeah.
I'm not in there doing the doing.
Yeah.
I need all my team to be totally motivated and clear with that.
Yeah.
So that's what that does. It gets the team. You know, we've got at the moment, we must have 90 people in the business at the moment. It's a lot of people all doing
Wow.
stuff. Yeah, there's a lot. Look at all the communication. That's all got to be clear.
Yeah.
So EOS can give that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
make
other
them
thing
so.
I just wanted to add to that as well, which might be helpful for some business owners. So we've been working with a guy called Mike who's been running our meetings with us. And I've found that having someone alongside me, which I'm sure, because you implement this in other people's businesses, don't you? And you run quarterly meetings.
That's right. Yeah.
And we were talking about this actually yesterday in Will's Mastermind, that having a few of the people around the table had all said the same thing, that they had somebody facilitating like their quarterly
Yeah.
meetings, and it like removes a level of, it really opens up the communication, because if like my team are directly saying to me, well, I don't have enough time, or I'm actually not happy with that plan, well, actually some of those times they won't say those things, they're just going along with it, and they're like, well, there's no point saying anything because Emma's busy doing content, and I found personally that having a completely external person like you're doing has been so helpful for, so it's brought up some kind of confrontational things that were like hidden below, but it diffuses it because they're talking to Mike, they're not talking to me.
Absolutely.
it's been a real game changer. Because I've always known some of the stuff's been there, but it's really brought it to the surface. That, do you know, I don't know what the description is for that, but, you know, I've worked with a lot of my team for a really long time also. So I guess there's an element of, well, it's always been this way, or... And having someone that's like a neutral party has really helped difficult conversations be a lot easier and happen. Do you know what I mean?
100% back you on that. And I think, so this is what I see, is if I'm working with a new client, or not a new, but if I'm any client I'm working with, you will have, by the natural beast of it, you'll have an owner.
Yeah.
And they are, historically, they're very quite visionary.
Yeah.
They can be quite a force. They can be, well, you know, well, this is what I think, and because that's just, they've had to do it, right? They're going, well, so now you've got the team and the staff that, okay, now, so now they're listening, and at times, sometimes they're over, well, I'm giving everyone the permission, and equally I can voice and say, look, okay, let's hear the room. You know, Mr. Visionary, which is amazing, and we love you for being a visionary. Don't change. We love you for that. But let's hear the room. What has everyone else got to bring? What do we say? And you can be the not puppet master, but you can definitely help. Where imagine if you didn't have someone like that, probably the room, because they're employed. Yeah, they're like, oh God, I can't interrupt it. I can't. And I think that. What I always try and work to do is I get the leadership team that they are all united in their voice. They're all just bringing it up. Like great parents. You've got to be great parents, haven't you? And once you come out, you can totally agree to disagree. Like, it's healthy. I want to disagree with you, Emma, at times, because I wanted to do the debate. I want us to go like, no, Emma, what are you talking about? It's definitely not going to be green. You're like, Neil, it's green all day long. Yeah. Like, no, let's throw it around. Like, we should go left. I don't think we should. But when we leave the room, we're united. Yeah, okay, look, let's go left. Well, let's go left for 90 days, and then let's review it. And then you kind of, okay, let's hold hands and walk out of here united. Now, that's what a team needs to do. What isn't is someone that's going, do you know what, I'm the owner, I'm dictator, we go left, it's what I reckon. That's what we do. Yeah. I think someone having that in the room to facilitate, okay, that's really interesting, let's throw it around, let's debate it. Let's give them permission to disagree and throw it around, because it's healthy. Totally.
And I know personally it is really hard to be that good leader who's listening to all the opinions, because you say, as you say, like, with a visionary, so like, no, I've had this idea and it's going to be freaking amazing. And like, we're going to do it. And then, you know, Bob will go, well, actually, I don't know why I'm going to squeeze that in, or how we're going to do that. And I know I've done this. I know sometimes I'll take that as a, God, pushing back. Don't see the
pushing back. They don't see what I see.
Yeah, and so I think it's, you know, we're not perfect. It's sometimes hard to catch yourself going, oh, but actually they've got a point. But no, they're missing the big picture here. Yeah. If I go at your speed, what do you know? Yeah. And so that has, I think a lot of business owners, you know, we don't go to like leadership college before running a business, do we? And so we are high energy and got ideas all day long. And I think it's really helpful to have someone going, no, but let's listen to Bob.
Yes. Let's listen to that. Yeah. Let's bring it up. Let's talk about it. Let's understand that. What is that? And that's the big one, is because, yes, naturally, we want to keep pushing it. Like, come on, we can do more out of this. Yeah. We can do. But it's understanding, actual fact, you need to make sure the team have got the buy-in. If your team isn't bought in, you're on your own. Do not march in and say, right, this is what's happening. This is what we're going to do. And I think it's a great, even if it is a great idea. Yeah. Like, I'm with you. I think it's a great idea. You know, great. This is going to be great. But if you just come in and go, this is what we're doing, and that's why, it's getting the team, the buy-in. They need to be heard, because it starts from a place of trust. If we all trust our team and we trust each other to have healthy, open, honest conversations and debates, if we trust each other, then we can be committed and we can be heard. Because if I'm heard, you'll get my commitment. Even if we throw stuff around and I go, do you know what, Emma did listen to what I said. I think we should do this. I think we should go left because I feel there's a storm coming up. And you're like, no, do you know what? I'm good for the storm. We're tin hats on. We're going to march through it. Okay, but Neil, I hear you. Yeah. And we'll review it and we'll look at it in 90 days. At least then I'm like, okay, cool. She's heard me. We are going to review it in 90 days. I've got your back and let's go together. Yeah. Rather than, I did try and tell you and you never listened, and you just, imagine doing it on a team. You need to get everyone with it. Yeah. Because they're the ones that's going to build it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be me. It's not going to be you.
And that is the way you get the sale, the exit, isn't
you
it?
get the exit.
That they are building the business.
Yeah,
Totally.
I mean, are they going to be buying Emma? No, you want to sell. You're exiting.
Yeah.
I don't want them to buy me.
Yeah.
I'm not for sale. So maybe there's a price on that. I don't know. But,
Yeah.
but it's that. It's it's that part. They're the team. So empower
true.
them to get it.
Yeah. Neil, we're powering through our time together. I can't believe how quickly it's gone. You're doing the EOS implementing. You have bought a photography company, which you are growing.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's Neil's hungry for opportunities and doing more. I guess I just wanted to ask, in the things that you're doing next, what does it mean to focus on the fun stuff in the business? What are you reserving for you? How are you making sure that the businesses you're getting involved in are enjoyable and the thing you want to do?
Yeah. Okay. So what, on the EOS side?
On either, even choosing to get into, because you've not been a photographer before.
No.
I understand it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
What is the fun stuff for?
Yeah. I mean, just to touch on that, I mean, I've just completed on it Thursday, the full sale. So now we've acquired the whole shooting range of it, which is amazing. And again, see shiny stuff. And I saw an opportunity and bought into half of Carmel Jane Photography 18 months ago. Brilliant business. It's got tradition. I can scale it. It's a good industry. It's got fantastic foundations. It's established. It's well branded. It had all the fruits that I'd look for to buy a business. Came into it 50%. Walked through it, really enjoyed the journey, knew I could do so much with it as well with the team. And so now expedited the buyout of the other 50%, which we just completed on. And for me, we work with 530 schools at the moment. And so for me, the first goal, through 2026, is to take that to 700 schools with our goals and set. So, to get it to that point, within the next 5 years, it will just be 100% pure growth of it. It will be 1,100 schools is what we'll work with. And in putting heads around that, that's over 500,000 heads. So that's over 500,000, that's 500,000 children we'll take a photo of within a very short space of time. If you imagine a football stadium, maybe there's 50, 60, it's 10 of them. We take photo of all of them individually and we'll sell those to the parents and trade that. And, it's a fantastic business. Got really great ambitions for scaling and for growing. We've got great systems in place. And I'm just excited about that as well. I've got an amazing team. And empowering them to grow, and with EOS, the help of that, the tools are going in, the weekly meetings, the processes are coming in. We just had our quarterly meeting on Monday. I pray what I preach. Yeah, it's what we do, how we function. Accountability charts up on the walls, where everyone sits. This is what we're about. That's amazing. And then also with my EOS journey, just keep helping clients. Yeah, you're helping people. Yeah, I love that. I just think you've got to do it.
Yeah.
Look, with the beautiful thing about this, Emma, you can buy the book. I mean, email me, I'll send you one for free or whatever. It's no money, it's like 20 quid.
Yeah.
You can just go and start doing that yourself.
Yeah.
You don't need anyone around you. You totally do it on your own. And many do. I mean, nearly 30,000 companies run on this now, so it's a big organisation in that sense, a year. But like a personal trainer, I'm not disciplined enough to get up every day. I have to have someone to go, right, let's do it. And I need to be held accountable. Traction, reading a book won't hold you accountable. Yeah. It's not going to get up and jump on the back and say, come on, let's go. So if you're like me, that's a bit dysfunctional, no, not bit, quite dysfunctional, inconsistent, and I need accountability, that's why I need that. I need that something to bounce into. And that's what I am. I'm an implementer to help others implement EOS into their businesses. Yeah.
And if anybody wants to find you, Neil, and get the free book or to have a chat to you about how you can help their business, where would they find you?
Yeah, LinkedIn. LinkedIn, Neil Sweeney. You tap it in, you'll find me straight away. Yeah, DM me. I'm absolutely happy to give free advice and help and send books and whatever it is to help this beautiful planet of ours spin.
Amazing. Neil, you've been fantastic, as I knew you would be. Thank you so much for coming on.
That's my total pleasure. It's lovely to see you.